What's going on? This your boy Chris Sanders coming to you with another podcast on another special episode with another special guest who is currently in Houston, Texas, the H Town. You already know what it is. This guest is a health and mindset coach slash entrepreneur, where she helps you discover your purpose and achieve your goals through one-on-one coaching. So without further ado, let me introduce y'all to Miss Tiffany Mendelson. What's going
Hey,
on with the girl? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Man, I'm doing phenomenal. Doing phenomenal. Had a great day. Had a great lunch before this podcast. Had some barbecue chicken. Had some barbecue
Yo,
chicken and some potato salad. So I'm feeling pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Good little, nice little meal before getting on this podcast. So yeah, I've had a phenomenal day so far.
I love that. I love that. I actually just got my groceries delivered to me. I haven't had my pancake. I'm obsessed with pancakes. I have to have one almost every single day. So I finally got my groceries. So I had breakfast for lunch.
Wait,
My
wait,
pancake.
did you just say that you get your groceries delivered?
Yeah, they got delivered today.
Bro, what? Wait, so what you be using? Shopify? Like what's it called? Or
So
Instacart?
it just really depends. Depends where I'm at. So when I'm in Houston, I use Kroger, the click list. So you can go pick it up or they can deliver it to you. It's just a time saver for me. I have not actually been inside of a grocery store to grocery shop in a long time. I'll go in and like pick up things here and there. When it comes to full bird groceries, it's just a time saver. If there's anything I can delegate to somebody, by all means, do it. Therefore, you have more space for yourself to get what it is that you need to get done.
That's a very interesting perspective, because on the other hand, I'd rather go to the store and get it myself, because I just want to pick out what I want, because I don't trust people doing it for me. Like they might give me the wrong thing, they may forget some. So I'm like, I just want to go to the store. Like I actually went to the store earlier this morning and I had to get a few things for myself. So that's funny. Like I've just
Mhm.
never really, I don't know. I've just never really like having my groceries delivered. Now I've had people do it before, and they say it's pretty good, but like I don't know. I just don't know. I
Yeah,
was,
I've been doing it prior COVID. So even during COVID,
hmm,
they turned off the fees. They still have no fees. So
gotcha.
I just kept on, I'm still doing it. It's just for me, it's just simply to save time. Like that's it. And they've been pretty consistent and good as far as, delivering things with all the stuff. The vegetables aren't gross or nasty or anything like that. So I've been, knock on wood, I've been lucky.
Yeah. More like probably blessed, honestly. That's another word you blessed right there. Um, well, yeah, because I know that you be traveling a lot. Like from our last conversation, you
Yes.
be traveling like all the time. So you probably be like on the move most of the time. So like I know you came back from I know the last time we talked, you was in California.
California. Yeah. So
Wow.
I started my full-time position as a health and mindset coach back in April of last year. I'm sorry, April of this year. And so when that happened, I gave myself permission to go ahead and cut ties as far as overhead expenses and just travel. If you think about it, just take what it is that you would pay in rent, so to speak, and put it somewhere else. So I gave myself permission for 1 year to do that. Also for me, just to kind of explore, see if there's another city or state that I want to live in. And for the fact that my business 100% remote, it allows me to have the freedom to kind of pick up and go as I like. And it's been an adventure. I love it. It's been very, I discover myself more every single day. Probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, it seemed like you living your best life for real, for real. Like that is what's up. I know a lot of people wish they could do that.
Thank you.
Now, what are some of your favorite places that you've been to?
So I just started this venture. So I've only been to a few places. It actually started not too long ago. I started off doing a little bit of house sitting. That's what it started off, just here in Houston. And then I went to Washington, jumped on to California. So I'm here, home base, Houston right now. And then I'll jump over to some other states, like 3 other states between now and the end of the year: Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Okay.
Louisiana, no, I'm sorry, Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida.
Mm,
I said that right.
okay. So are you like, so when you get like more into doing this, like, are you gonna try to travel outside the country, or like you're gonna stay within the country?
It wasn't in the plan. It still is not in the plan to travel outside the country. I do have a trip planned to go next year outside of the country, but it wasn't something I planned. So I'll go do that. But I'm just staying inside of states right now.
I don't blame you, because I was that way at first. I was like, the only travel I'm gonna do is in the USA, because there's stuff in the US of A that I have not seen yet. Now, I have, been pretty much, to some significant places in the US. Like I know you said you was in Houston. Like I've been to Houston before. It's hot. Like I went in the summer, like July. It was like over 100 degrees, so it was burning. Like for real, for real. Like
It is
it was like a desert.
It gets really hot here in Houston in June. It is absurd, like June, July time frame, up to 100, if not higher. It's interesting though. I go somewhere else and it's like high 60s. I'm cold. Or if I go swim in another lake and people think that it's like 65, I'm like, that's cold to me.
Yeah.
My body is definitely acclimated since I've been here. So it gets hot.
No, especially like because I was born and raised in Ohio. Like I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm sure like for those of y'all who live in the South, y'all probably never seen snow. Y'all probably don't even know what snow is, honestly, because it'd be cold. Like so when we go to like the South, it's burning to us, like for real, for
Oh
real.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been to Houston, like Orlando. Now I've been to Dallas too. I actually traveled to Dallas this past summer. And I think I honestly have to say, I don't know, because it's I don't know, between Houston and Dallas, I mean, they're both different,
And
but
they are, and I don't even want to say anything about it. I'm going to excuse myself from this conversation.
I
Because
was gonna
Dallas
ask you which one you thought
and
was
Houston, they
better.
can say some stuff about each other. I don't even want to go to that conversation because they are
Honestly,
completely different.
yeah, no, I mean, climate wise is I think it's pretty much the same, but like in terms of like, just structure wise, I think, Dallas, I think Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, is more city like.
Dallas and Houston are just different.
Yeah.
It's
But
it's different everything.
mhm.
Buildings, the way it's structured, like you said, the people, it's different.
Yeah, everything bigger in Texas though, I'll tell you that right now. Like everything bigger in Texas. Like if I had a choice between Houston and Dallas, I have to give the slight advantage to Dallas. I'd say Dallas. Now I know you live in Houston. I know you live in Houston. I
Really?
don't know how you feel about that for real. But just I say Dallas.
Really?
I just love. Now I'm not a Cowboys fan. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get that twisted. I don't like the Cowboys. So it's not because of the Cowboys. It's just I just thought when I went there, I was like, dang, this is nice. Like
That's you're a Dallas boy. Okay, gotcha. So I would definitely say I would actually hop on over to Austin, to be honest with you. I'm such a
ooh,
nature gal. So I prefer to be able to open my front door and be in nature versus opening the front door and seeing cement in my face. So I would go to Austin if I had to choose. So
I almost went there, but the COVID happened. So because
oh
COVID, like I wasn't able to go there. Like I think I was supposed to take a trip for work, like, but they were like, yeah, we're gonna cancel that because of COVID. I was like, bruh, but they was telling me like, yeah,
yeah,
Austin is nice. I think it's the isn't the capital of Texas?
yeah, Austin.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I've heard it's beautiful.
You
It's
need to
beautiful.
go. Austin is gorgeous. It has a lot of culture, a lot of variety. It's very diverse. It's completely different than Houston and Dallas. So talk about Houston and Dallas being different. Austin's like
Yeah,
a completely different world. So definitely
yeah.
get down here and go check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely will. Now, for those of you who are listening, if you haven't picked up on the theme of this episode, the title I was trying to think of like what could I call this episode, and it's going to be about the traveler's guide. So this is going to be your traveler's guide, and no other person could explain this better is the one who loves to travel. So if you haven't picked up on the theme, this is what we're going to be talking about. But I want to ask Miss Tiffany, because I know that you've taken the time to travel to a few places, and I know some people are like, man, like how are you able to get out here? Um, how do you find time to be able to do this for real? Like, how do you how do you own your own time to be able to travel to these different places?
Oh man, okay. So this is kind of start from the beginning. So I would actually say time management skills probably started at a very young age, but fast forward to it, I am a triathlete by heart. I love doing that stuff. I think that in general helped me a little bit with time management. On top of that, having my own business, and having a strategy and a plan of what it is that I need to do and get done allows me to have the flexibility and freedom to kind of pick up and go as I please. I personally do not think it was very difficult to get. I say difficult. It wasn't perfect, right? I didn't have like a perfect life in order to get here. But once said and done, I look back and I'm just like, that actually wasn't that difficult. If anything, I made it more difficult. I got in my own way. And I have a few clients now I actually coach to do the same exact thing, for them to be able to go travel for a year, or maybe small, get a little bit more minimalistic for them to travel some more. As far as finding time, you just make time, right? So one thing that's like a highly important to me in my life and also my coaching business is making sure that, one, you're living in your purpose. Two, you're doing things that are important to you. And whenever you're actually doing what's important to you, it's kind of like you're prioritizing what is important to you. So if it's important to you, like it is to me, to be a successful entrepreneur, that's going to be on the top of the list. My health is going to be on top of that list. I have well traveled on there. So those are the things that I prioritize in my life. So in essence, that allows me to give myself time. Does that make sense?
That's interesting. Yeah. So basically, like, just doing it when you want, basically, is what you're saying. Like, just kind of just finding that time to be able to do it whenever you want. Because now my uncle told me this. Like, my uncle, when I visited him over the summer, he said, something that stood out to me for real. There was a time when he was working for his company or whatnot, and there was a period where he did not take a vacation. And, because he thought that, if I didn't do this work, like, I was going to be missing something. But then he realized, over time, he was like, man, like, I should have took that vacation. I should have took that time to myself, because it's not like anybody feel bad that you didn't take that time. You know what I mean? So his whole point of the story, like he was sharing, was like, take time to yourself. Like, don't feel bad that you want to go somewhere, and don't feel obligated that don't feel like somebody is trying to hold you down and trying to tell you that you can't do it. You know what I mean? Because nobody's gonna take care of you like you take care of you.
Exactly. So, yeah. I mean, it's all about giving yourself permission and the space and the time to take care of yourself. And what's interesting is, since I've been traveling, so I just started this traveling venture, my motivation and inspiration and just work in general has skyrocketed, because I don't have the mindset of I'm on vacation. I'm on the mindset that I'm a full-time traveler / full-time coach. So being in different places, though, just kind of spices things up for the time being, which has been kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to last the whole entire time. Some people say it might fizzle away. Some people say that I might not fizzle away. So it's kind of exciting to see what's going to happen. But definitely giving yourself time to yourself to rejuvenate is key, right? In order to actually create space for you to get what it is that you want done. Think about a goal. Let's take you, for instance. What's a goal that you have in life?
One thing that I wanted to become is like a motivational speaker, for real, like being able to travel as well and being able to impact people across the world. Like that has been one of my goals. And also one of my goals that I'm also going to accomplish this year is I'm gonna have my first book published in 2 months. I had that goal from the beginning of 2021. And I got that goal because, I saw my pastor do it. And so I said, I'm gonna do it. And I kept putting in the work. I found out how to do it, and then boom, it's about to come out in 2 months.
I love it. So your book's coming out in 2 months.
2 months. That's what they predicted. Like they said that because I'm doing mainly a self-publishing route. So, they were like, yeah, like in total, your book should be done in 3 months. So I started the publishing process last month. So it said 3 months from September, December. So coming out around Christmas. That's the plan.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, this is like a prime example, right? You saw your
Right.
pastor do something, you were inspired, you make that a priority in your life, right? Like you made time for that. I've written, I haven't written, but I made a cookbook. It's time consuming, right? On top of that, I've created other workbooks for my clients, including a course that I have. It's very time consuming. So for you to actually have the motivation behind yourself, to give yourself time, like that in essence is key, right? You gave yourself permission.
Mhm.
Did you also give yourself permission to rest?
Oh yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. When I was trying to figure out, okay, how much do I write in a day? And, I was just trying to come up with set intervals on like, okay, when is a good time for me to write? Like when is a, good time of my day where I can just sit down and remain focused. And I took like at least like maybe an hour or two out of my day and just started writing. Cause like once I come up with the idea, I just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just no stopping for real.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I was able to do it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much with everything, including with myself. And when it comes to traveling, it's just on a larger grand scheme of things. I sat down and said, I'm going to travel for a year. Where am I going? How am I going to afford this? How is this going to work? Right. So you take all the pieces and you put it together, put it high on your priority list. You're going to make time for it to happen. Some people, they might have things they love to do they don't ever want to give up, such as, I don't know, maybe going out on the weekends and hang out with friends. Like that in itself takes a long time, not to mention how many hours you have to recover from going out. So it really just kind of pick and choose your battles to create that time of what it is that's important to you. And that also kind of ties into living in authenticity, if you think about it, right? If you're actually doing what you love to do and you're prioritizing correctly, that's you living in your purpose. So
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. Like, what I'm saying? That is very dope. Now I think like, a lot of people will probably be like, well, don't you, because I know traveling it can be expensive, right? Like, what I'm saying? Like traveling like to different places and it's pretty expensive, but because
how you look at it. There are tips and tricks, my friend. You
yeah.
have
Well, like places you travel, like California, like you taking a plane, right? Like, aren't you taking a plane to go to California?
I did take a plane west, yes, and then I'm driving for the rest of the year. So actually, I think it's Monday or Tuesday. I haven't really figured out what day I'm leaving. Monday or Tuesday next week, I'm going to drive to Louisiana. I'll be there for a short while and then keep heading east.
Cause I know like some of these like exotic places, I know people like be like, I want to go to Mexico, the Bahamas, or Turks and Caicos. I heard Turks and Caicos is, whoo. I asked my mom, I said, Mom, what's Turks and Caicos? She was like, you gotta have money to go over there. So like a lot of people, they want to go to these like nice places, man. Like, what I'm saying? Like they want to be able to, enjoy that. But there, like you said, there are ways you can be able to travel. I mean, can travel from city to city. I mean, you can save money doing that. But if you really want to go out and travel, right, you gotta, I think,
spend some money.
Yeah, so financial aspect.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's all about the experience, right? It's experience of what it is that you want to take away from it. And for me, it's more so the experience of finding and exploring different things around the United States. But I also want to be able to discover myself more, right? And grow my business in a way that I probably couldn't, like I'm very fortunate right now that I can go travel this long and experience life this way and grow my business this way. In some form or fashion, it's also a strategy of mine. I feel like I will get a lot more done and I feel like I will learn a lot more than me sitting at home doing the same thing over and over again, right? I just feel like it's more fruitful for myself to go on this experience. So,
yeah. I also think, you being an entrepreneur, being able to own your own business, own your own time. I think that kind of plays into it, you being an entrepreneur. Like, I feel like, it seems like your business is like doing amazing. Like you're able to be in a position, where you can be able to do that. And I know a lot of people, you know, they want to be like, I want to start their own business, you know, because when you have your own thing, like you can be able to take ownership of it. And, you know, if it, you know, really works out, it can give you a lot of those freedoms to be able to do what you want, do what you please. So, you know, you being an entrepreneur, I know it had to be a grind.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there was probably a point where you had to sacrifice, you know, maybe a year or maybe 2 years to really get this business off the ground. You know, what just kind of like talk about like what's that grind look like, you know, for people like, man, I want to, you know, start my own business. I want to be on my time. You know, what's that grind like? And then like, why are a lot of people afraid to do that? You know what I
You
mean?
know what? I still hustle. I still hustle. I still grind. It hasn't stopped. I've always kind of been like that. I grew up in a sales environment, or I say that because that's mostly my resume was all sales. And just that kind of atmosphere in general has always kept me going. And also as a kid, my father, he was always very motivational and always had me keep going and pushing forward. So all that coupled together kind of at a young age instilled in me to keep going and persevere, right? And then I went to the sales industry. I take actually quite pride in my sales because I did actually get awarded. One of my favorite was a top 5% sales consultant with a liquor distributor. And I was the biggest, you know, top 5% of the state. And I think 2 years previous to that, I was top 10%. So I kind of like worked my way up that totem pole. And I didn't actually start in the industry as a trained salesperson. I actually was that girl that would go bar to bar to hand out free shots to people. And I just became really good at talking to people and selling. And then it ended up me going into a sales consultant role. I won awards there. And then I jumped up into a manager position and within the industry, actually managing the state for the liquor industry for a supplier. So that was a lot of fun. But like you said, there is the grind because now I have my full-time business. And what happened is that I felt like I was not living in line of who I truly was. I realized that I didn't want to live a lifestyle where I'd be out till 2 o'clock in the morning and kind of just, it wasn't in line with who I was. So I started coaching school. I got some certifications through other platforms as well. I worked full time and studied hard to get my business off the ground. I actually launched my business. I started getting paid for coaching last year in April. So I announced that I had a coaching business in April. 2 weeks later, I had 2 paying clients. They're paying like, I think 20, maybe $50 a session. It was pretty low. So it started out so small. And then a year later, I decided to go all in with my business. You know, I was at a point where I was like, okay, I can do this by myself. I can cut the ties. This is what I want to do to the day that I die. So I did that. Wow. I did. Yeah. That's awesome. On top of that, I'm a triathlete. So I trained for the 70.3 Ironmans as well. I kind of backed away from them a little bit just because of injuries, but that in itself as well, I feel like kind of kept me, I say sane, probably was a really good stress relief of, you know, overloaded life. I needed somewhere to put everything. So it kind of got dumped in triathlon. That I think kind of kept me on the right road, especially having to wake up really early in the morning to train. So if you think about it, those same habits kind of trickled into my business. So all of these things coupled together just kind of created really good habits for me to have in my business. So it was a struggle. It wasn't always easy. Right. I wanted to give up on myself many, many times, but I didn't. I learned pretty much you have to practice self-care. Like you were talking about earlier, talking about, you know, having to take time for yourself. Like that's part of self-care. Like the more you care about yourself, the more it's going to shine through in your business and everything else. Because you can't really function properly if you're not well rested, if you're not feeding yourself, if you're not, you know, drinking water, all that fun stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah, and I'll add on to that. Like I thought you know made some great things, made some great comments about it. One thing that I'll add on to it is like for those who, you know, are into entrepreneurship or are into trying to start a business, It's more about trying to find, why do you want to do it? What's the purpose versus like trying to make money? Because like I feel like with you went into it with a why. Like you came in with a purpose and a deeper reason than just, I want to make money. You know what I mean?
But the
So
money wasn't ever well, the money was there, but at the same time,
right.
money wasn't like the
It
main
was
pointing factor,
mm-hmm.
right? But you're very right. I had a why. I think that's the number one step when it comes to anything, when wanting to attain whatever goal it is that you want. You got to know your why. Like, what is it going to be? Is it going to bring you peace or happiness? What is it going to be for you to actually step and do what it is that you need to do to reach that goal? So you're right. That why is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've mentioned this plenty of times, on my podcast is, finding that, reason for doing this. Like, I've referenced me, for example, like doing this podcast, like my why is to be able to reach out and be able to, make as big of an impact as I can. That was my mission statement going into 2021, was to make a difference. Like I was like, my parents, they believe, they're big believers in New Year's resolutions. So I think like I was visiting my parents at the time, and it was like, so what do you want to do in 2021? Like, what are some of your goals? What are some of your dreams? I said, I want to make a difference. I really did. I said, I want to make a difference. And I carried this into my podcast. I said, I want to make a difference. Like, a lot of people get caught up in, trying to do trying to get external, rewards like money, status, fame, clout, whatever you want to call it. But for me, I'm like, man, I'm just trying to, if I can make a difference in one person's life, if I can change, somebody's perspective, if I can really, have that person look at themselves and be like, man, like I am valuable. I can do all things. Then, I feel good at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I feel like that ties a lot into that entrepreneurship spirit, is like knowing why you want to do it, what type of impact you want to make. And then the money's going to follow you, man. The money's going to follow. But until you find what it is that you want, until you find what your why is, it's going to be hard to really get your business off the ground.
I mean, you can get there for sure. It's not, you might have a little bit harder trouble, as me doing huge, since I am a mindset coach, I'm huge on mindset in general. So when it comes to that, making sure that you're living in authenticity, in your purpose, you're kind of prioritizing things the right way, is going to help your mind in general kind of like flow with everything. Because if sometimes it just feels like you're pushing a boulder up a mountain, if you really don't, if you feel lost, if you feel stuck, if you're unclear, you need some clarity, right? And that's actually a lot of times where coaches come in to play to change other people's life.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, with you being a one-on-one coach, now I kind of transition to like, my next thing I want to go into. Is you did say you mentioned that you are a one-on-one coach. Talk about like, what does that look like? Like when people come to you, like what are they getting out of you? Like what type of energy they getting?
What kind of energy they get? So they get me.
Right.
So my program, it's a 90-day program, and they see me for 12 sessions. So once a week, same day of the week, same time of the week. Huge on habits. So that's kind of building a habit up for them. So when we part, they still have that 45 minutes to an hour designated to themselves, to take care of themselves as they see fit. So they see me every week, and we go over what we talked about last week. We go over, I call it a burning question. Like, what is their question that they want to talk about today? Like, what is it that they really want to get out of the session? We go over that. And then depending on time, we kind of go into whichever topic or tool it is that I feel like might help them that day. So I have so many tools in my toolbox. It could be anything from helping overcome self-sabotage, limited beliefs. It can help with focusing on all the right energy. It could be anything to do with like placing boundaries, meditation, a whole bunch of stuff. And then with me, I'm a huge health junkie. I swim, bike, run, and eat healthy. And so I obviously always try to give, advice to other people. Actually, I feel like all I do is give advice to other people every day on something nutrition wise. So they get that as well. So when they come to me, it's not only them, trying to get healthier. They get the mindset aspect of things. They get coaching on their career, their relationships, spirituality, finances. It's like the whole big shebang. So it's not just one thing that they get. And sometimes people come to me and they're like, hey, I want to work on health. 2 weeks later, you know what? I feel like I really am set with my health. I think I really want to focus on this instead, which is pretty interesting because a lot of times it kind of unfolds throughout the 90 days that we're together, the 12 weeks, of what it is that they're really trying to, I guess you can say, align in their life. Does that make sense? So it's like they come to me for one thing, they notice that they feel set in that one area of their life and something else is kind of seeping through. It's almost like peeling back the layers in the onion, trying to expose who they are and all these roadblocks that they have so they can keep, unleashing, I guess you can say that I pretty much help them unleash their potential.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So do you is it mainly like virtual or can people pull up in person?
I am 100% remote. There is one person I have ever met face to face. That's a lie, 2. Okay, don't hold me, but just 2 people. Okay, and these were just like one-off sessions, so it wasn't something that was consistent. But yeah, it's mostly virtual. All of it's virtual. I'm sorry. So we meet on Zoom whenever we do have a conversation, kind of like how you and I are doing right now. And then I also have a course, a life purpose course that I am launching. And that, of course, your viewers as well, they can get a promo code from me. We'll talk about that later. But on top of the one-on-one coaching, they get the life purpose course as well. Workbook, handouts, all that fun stuff.
Okay. And that's going to help them to be able to step toward their purpose, which is what is on this hoodie right here. Step toward. Yeah. I got my sweatshirt. This is my signature sweatshirt.
I love it.
I also got t-shirts as well. I got my signature t-shirts and sweatshirts. Step towards your purpose. I thought I'd throw that in there because it seems like, along with this course, we taking the course. Hopefully the course is leading us to where our purpose is. So that's why I love the phrase. That's actually the title of my book too, Step Towards Your Purpose.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's actually the
title.
I love it. Yeah, so I thought that was a great thing to just throw in there. It seems like me and you both trying to have people step toward their purpose, which is
awesome. I mean, I absolutely, you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started coaching, I hired coaches and I was like, I'm going to be a health coach because that's what I just like to do. Right. And then I really started getting to coaching and I got into like life coaching. I was like, whoa, there's so much stuff out here. This is so cool. I got lost. I seriously was drowning in so much coach information. It was like, get me out of here. I was stuck. I was like running on a hamster wheel. I was still coaching people on their health, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not there yet. And though I was living in my purpose, I was super confused. I spent so much time on Google and so much money on coaches trying to figure out what it was that my niche was really going to be, because I had all this information and different types of coaches out there. And it dawned on me one day, because I did this life purpose exercise with my coaching school and I just kind of like put it on the back burner. But then I hired another coach and she gave me some really, really valuable information. I was like, Then where does the last one came from? It was from another coach. So what I did with the course that I created, in essence, it was a learning lesson I learned from 3 different coaches put together. And it's literally an exercise. I did it actually 2 weeks ago. Anytime I find myself not really having a clear direction and I'm spinning my wheels, because it happens to everybody. Anyone says that it doesn't happen, like they're not human, And so this exercise really helps me redirect myself the direction that I'm going, rediscover myself. Sometimes I find some like amazing things about myself and it gets really uncomfortable. I'll definitely give you access to the course too. So the more you do it, the more easier it is for you to get uncomfortable and stepping into your power of who you are as a person and having clear direction. I had a couple of people already test the course as well. It hasn't been launched yet, but just hearing back from them, I was like, oh wow, that's how I feel whenever I take it too. So it's a really cool thing. So anyways, back to where I was talking about, when I was coaching and I all of a sudden had a whole bunch of different, like all this information about coaching of what it is I really wanted to do, when it finally dawned on me that, you know what, Tiffany, you're going to start teaching people how to find their life purpose. You need to figure out how to do this. And I kind of pieced it all together and created a course, but I was doing the course even previous to making it. It was a workshop at one point in time. And before that, it was just something I actually did. So yeah, that's how I became, more of a life purpose, helping people find their life purpose. On top of that, they get everything else. They get the health, they get the career and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like when people go through it, like what's the success rate? Like, do people come back and be like, oh yeah, like I finally was able to achieve this thing in my life? Like, have you ever got those type of comments and feedback before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So usually my clients, about 90% of the time, they are at their goal or about to achieve their goal by the second month. Now we go over their goal. So when they come to me, this is just an example. Someone came to me and said, hey, I want to be a 100K coach in 90 days. I'm like, okay, where are you right now in life? Is this plausible? I mean, it could be plausible for some people, but where are you in life and how can we get you there? So we set a certain goal for my clients. So 95% of the time they're at or about to meet their goals. So the third month, they're actually about to, think bigger and create new goals. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, there you go. See, that's the thing. That's the impact that you make it. There's the impact. It's making them think big. This is the traveler's guide. That's why I called it the traveler's guide. This is how you able to be able to live your best life, is being able to execute on whatever your life goal is, being able to think big. That was like a sermon. I remember like listening to that sermon. I think it was in 2020. So 2020, it was talking, my pastor was talking about think bigger, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, like I need to start thinking bigger, you know what I mean? Because I'm used to, like, in school they teach you, oh, create measurable goals, like just create something that is easy to reach. But it's like you don't get nothing out of that. Like once you reach it, then what?
You know what? Yeah, that's true. It's like, what do you do after that? So you have a goal, whatever it is. Like you said earlier, you wanted to write a book, you already achieved that. And you had another goal of becoming a motivational speaker, right? To become a motivational speaker, you're going to have to break it down in easy, manageable steps. Now, this is where a lot of people actually fail. They fall over because they try to get this big old goal and they're running towards it. And then all of a sudden they can't really eat what they just put in their mouth because it was too big. So you got to put it in manageable small steps. So for you, think about becoming a motivational speaker. It might come simply what you're doing right now. Let me, do this podcast. Let me talk with other people. Let me find inspiring content and hear other people's stories. So it sounds like you're a smart guy. You know what you're doing. And kind of this right here is like building good habits for you, right? And so what you do from here is you're going to find another thing that you want to add onto it and you just tack it right on. Or maybe the podcast was just for you to get information and then you stop it and you start something else. So I feel like habit stacking is what I'm talking about, is usually when people tend to fail because they try to habit stack this huge goal onto like this one thing and it doesn't work. You got to do small incremental steps in order to get the big picture. And enjoying the journey is huge. So like I said earlier with traveling, it's like, I want to enjoy the experience. Like, I want to learn about myself because I feel like I will be able to learn more traveling and working versus sitting at home because it will allow me to slow down, right? To enjoy the experience. Now, I probably could just run through it and not really look around, but my intention going into it is to enjoy the experience, to slow down, enjoy the journey, and actually build off of all of these things that I'm creating right now. So I hear what you say, like you're in school and they're like, do small manageable steps and make it easy. They're right about that. But at the same time, what do you do after that? Right? You have this big goal and they're trying to chunk it down really small, which a lot of us, we don't like that. We want to work towards our big goal, but having a big goal in mind and understanding the steps and the strategy and the plan to get there, that's where it's at. That's where the money's at.
Absolutely. Just making it a priority every day is like, you know, when you have a goal to lose a lot of weight, and I use fitness as a lot of my examples because I'm very into fitness. I got up this morning and woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, went to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, are you? I know you say you was a triathlete, so you probably, you know, fitness is probably your passion right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I signed up for a 10K ocean swim in November. Swimming is actually my weakest sport. You're looking at me funny.
You said 10K.
It was so interesting.
10K swimming. I could barely swim.
I did. So, full disclosure, you know, I am injury prone. I had an injury. I had to step away from a 70-point race that I had my heart set on. And in my head, I was like, I need to do something. You know, it's like, I cannot just sit here and be by myself. I have this anyway. So I don't remember exactly how it came upon swimming, but I started Googling. I do remember that. And I found all these ones. And I'm like, I want to do something before the year is over. I was like, where's the longest swim? And I found a 10K swim. I called my friend and I was like, should I do this? She's like, yeah. I'm like, are you sure? And I was like, I think it was like $75 or $50 or something like that. Like, not bad. And so I literally closed my eyes and I said, okay, I'm doing this. And now I'm training for it. And I laugh at myself every single time I go to the pool because I'm like, I'm swimming a lot.
Hey, go for it. Now, you know what I mean? We were just talking about go big like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid to, you know, if that's what you like.
I'm tackling my weakness. Yeah, I'm tackling my weakness and making it a super mega strength.
Yeah. Would I volunteer to do that? No. But if you like swimming, you like swimming like that, go for it.
It's part of triathlon, so you kind of have to work on it. You know, it's a lot of people are fearful of the open water swimming. I am too. I'm not scared to swim. It's more like I'm afraid what is underneath. But I mean, you just gotta face your fears and do it.
Right. Yeah. See, my type of swimming, I just like, you know, chilling in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be like. Now I did take swimming when I was a little kid. Like I took swimming lessons like at my rec center or whatnot. But you know, when I go to the pool, I just be like chilling. Like, I don't know if I really be swimming like that for real. I just be in the pool, just like chilling, talking, chopping it up, but not really swimming. The most swimming I did was like when I was little, or like, yeah, when I was little, to be honest, because I used to love to swim, like back and forth, you know, like on the other ends of the pool.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'll just be chilling now. You know? I rarely be swimming unless somebody was like, hey, you want to race? I'll just be like, all right, cool. But yeah, swimming, I don't even know. But
it's a challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy seeing how far I can go mentally and physically. So it's innate. I feel like it's part of me.
Yeah, no, I mean, do what you love. I mean, this is what we're trying to tell y'all. Just do what y'all love for real.
Oh, like, yeah, do what you love, do what's in line with yourself, and don't be afraid to try things that are new, for sure. And I mean, the other thing is, like, whenever you start your business, you can go back and forth, business or swimming, either or. You can look at it both ways. There's always going to be something that you don't like, or something that you're not strong at, right? And it's always good to work on it. Hence me signing up for a 10K. But also with your business, when you start your business, there's always be something that might not be your strong suit. And you cannot actually turn a blind eye to it, especially when it's your business, because if you really want your business to get off the ground, if you want it to grow, you're going to have to look at all areas, which can be tough, you know, especially if you have like multiple problems going on. You can definitely get distracted by maybe the bigger problem, and you might have had all these small minor ones, but you gotta stay on top of it. Which is fun for me. It's a challenge.
Yeah, and it's a challenge that everybody's willing to do because, like, everyone loves to see, the results, but they don't want to see the process. In order to come up with the product, you must go through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like with anything.
Yeah, you can't do anything unless you cannot, how can I say, you can't really talk about anything or do anything unless you actually do it. You know what I mean? Right. It's kind of like telling a baby to talk when they can barely cry. Right. They exactly walk, you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, they cry all the time. I'm like crying. I'm like, that ain't no problem.
They do cry. They just cry.
That is natural. That is natural. But yeah. But anyway, we coming to a close on this show. Cause I know it's about 45 minutes. I know you said I know you probably gotta go on your trip. You probably gotta get in the car and drive somewhere across the country. Because,
I'm leaving in less than a week. Yep.
Less than a week. Where did you say you were traveling to again?
I'm going to Louisiana.
Louisiana. So that's where you was from, right? That's where you originally from.
I am. I'm originally from Louisiana. So I'm gonna actually go visit my grandma there for about a day or two. It's just a quick little visit. And then I'm gonna hop on over to Alabama, and then end up in Florida. So and then come back for the holidays in Louisiana.
Yeah. Now I did want to ask you this question. Because since you do travel, I'm actually supposed to take a trip to Chicago next month. And one of the things that I love, about new places is trying new food. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the best meals? Like, so name the place, name the location, and then name the restaurant that you went to that was just off the chain. Because I need some recommendations. So when I do traveling, I need some recommendations on where I need to go.
You know what? I've only been to Chicago once. That was a very long time ago. I'm trying to think, normally I use Yelp. Some people hate this app, but I use Yelp to figure out where the heck I'm going to eat. And I also cook a lot. So a lot of times I seek out Airbnbs or places that have kitchens. And so I literally would go to the grocery store and I will cook for myself. Because again, I love my pancakes. So I got to have a pancake. And I know
it's pancakes. Like, you make what type of pancakes you make?
So I either purchase birch blenders, I do those, or I do Kodiak cake. And I just use it as a base. And sometimes if I want to be creative, I will just get some almond flour and I'll actually mix it in with the batter if I don't have all the ingredients to actually make the pancake. And this kind of mixed stuff. Sometimes I get in bananas, sometimes sweet potatoes, yogurt, eggs. I just mix a hodgepodge of things. I actually have a cookbook that shows you one of my recipes. I think it's called the PB&J pancake. So it's 2 pancakes. It's an almond butter and jam. That's what it is. So it shows you how to make the jam.
I can't do the almond butter though. I'm allergic to all nuts.
You can take out the almond butter. Yeah, just something else there for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good for real.
So the best place, hands down, is probably my pancakes to go eat at. Other than that, I use Yelp to find restaurants. Okay. I'm trying to think recently, one of the better places I went to go eat at. I want to say within the past year traveling, it's actually just not one location. So I really got into beet salads. So weird, but beet salads, I feel was a summer thing or spring thing. Because I would go to all these restaurants and they have beet salads and I would try all of them. And they just all have different varieties. They have cold, they have warm, they have ones with dairy, ones without dairy. It's just sky's the limit. So that was my thing for a minute.
Beet salad.
You're like, no.
I was beet salad. Oh man. Okay. Hey, I respect that. I might have to. I can't. You know what? The old saying is you can't knock it till you try it. So
exactly.
I'll be open to try it. I just need a napkin on the side. Just make sure I need it out.
In case you don't like it, yeah, I get that.
I don't like it, but like I said, I can't knock it till I try it. So I have to try Now I eat salad, just not with beets in it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I even had a beat.
So it literally is beets. Like there's no, well, it's primarily beets. That's the thing. There's not really, I think one of them maybe had arugula, or a couple of them had arugula in it, but it was mostly beets. You know, you go to restaurants, it's these little fancy restaurants, they come like on a little square plate and they have like a couple of beets on it. It was like that.
Oh man. They probably charge you like $25 for the salad.
No, it wasn't that much. It was like, yeah, it was probably a little absurd for the fact that you're eating beets. I normally actually don't go to restaurants and eat salads because they charge $20 when I can go to the grocery store and probably eat a week's worth of salad on $20. So I'm just like, that's just stupid. But I saw the beets and I don't know. They lured me in.
All right. Well, beet salad. I mean, I'll put that on there.
Salads and pancakes.
Right. Pancakes. Now I gotta try some of your pancakes. I haven't had pancakes in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, by the way, let's not forget that I have my life purpose course coming out, the 3 secrets on how to live your purpose and achieve your goals. It's coming out tomorrow, actually. So your listeners, they can go ahead and find me on social media or email me at hello@tiffanymendelson.com and email me the passcode life purpose, and I will give them a good little discount.
Yeah, that's what's up. And I also added into the link, when the episode releases, when the episode drops, I'll make sure to add that into the link as well, so they can like have direct access to it. But
awesome.
yeah, definitely go check it out. Definitely go check it out. Some good stuff. You know, you might discover what your purpose is for real.
Yeah, no, that's my intention, for people to be able to know how to do that. Because again, I was spinning my wheels and I took my learnings from different coaches and sources and put it together and found out how to do an exercise to really figure out how to get yourself unstuck and put yourself back on track, live in purpose and start achieving your goals. So that's my intention.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, listen, I appreciate you coming on here for real. For real. It was a great conversation. And I always tell my guests every time they come on, this does not have to be the last time we ever have a conversation. We could definitely continue the conversation, continue to pick up on where we left off. You know what I'm saying? So you are always welcome to come back. You're always welcome to, share your perspective on anything that you want to talk about. Because I feel like, me and you are trying to go to the same, we're on the same mission, trying to help people discover their purpose. So, I mean, that's awesome. And I also might need to come try with you for real. Like I might need to get in your car, and I think that I need to like be in the passenger seat and just be able to experience it for real.
Just hit me up. You know where I'm at in social media world. So
yeah, you're gonna see us. We gonna try. We're gonna be on the road, so you can't miss it. We're gonna come to your city. We're gonna come to your state. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing it.
Hey, just message me. We'll see.
All right, babe, I got you. I will definitely keep that. Listen,
I know you're gonna take your fun with it. I know.
You're gonna see. You're gonna see it inbox. You're gonna see that little notification on your DMs. You can be like, oh, okay.
I know.
Disrespecting your life. He want to come.
Be like, I'm an hour away from you.
Right. Nah, I'll be like, yeah, something like that. You could be like Kentucky or something, Tennessee. That's pretty close to Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely have to work on that. Anyway, that's a wrap. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Disinfecting Your Life. That's no spaces, no capitals. Follow us at Disinfecting Your Life. No spaces, no capitals. That's on Instagram. For those of you who are on Twitter, follow us at Disin Your Life 1. So again, on Twitter, if you own Twitter, follow us at DISN Your Life and the number 1. And then for those of you who are on Facebook, for my older generation folks who still use Facebook, follow us at Disinfect Your Life. That's just Disinfect Your Life. You can see our community page and you'll see all the latest and greatest on there. Also, don't forget, get your merch. Get your sweatshirt. Step towards your purpose. I'm gonna put the camera down right here. Step towards your purpose. Get your sweatshirts and your shirts. Get your fall apparel, because that's where we're going. We're stepping toward our purpose. 2021 is still in effect. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna wait till 2022. If you still got time in 2021, whatever you need to do in 2021, make sure you get that done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait till the last second. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, oh, the new year, I'm gonna wait to the new year. Like 2021, if you have a goal 2021, it's still 2021. Get it done. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, this your boy, Chris Simmons, alongside special guest, Tiffany Mendelson. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Take care. Peace.